So if you guys are keeping up with my channel, you will probably pick up a pattern that I personally believe that your health and your mind and your body and the way that you talk to it has a lot to do with the information that you are ingesting. I believe that your mind and your body are living beings. They are very important, and a living being is someone or a subject such as a plant, animal, person. Some people believe that crystals and rocks are living beings. Anything that can pick up information and use it and adapt to its environment. So, it is safe to say that whatever you are ingesting is information or a gift to your body saying, this is how I feel about you, this is what's going on, and it uses it because your mind and body will believe anything that you tell it. Your mind and body love you so much, and it is kind of like a dog or an animal. It really wants to please you. It really wants to help you in any way that it can. So I personally believe that the food that you eat is information that tells your cells how you feel about it. The music that you listen to is information and tells your mind and body how you feel about it. So I personally like the music Hertz. It's a Hertz called 963 Hertz, and a Hertz is basically a frequency, or if I could put it into terms, affirmations for the cells, positive affirmations for the cells that tell it that it is peaceful, it is in alignment, it is stable. So it kind of gives a very stable feeling about it, a very peaceful feeling about it, a refreshing feel about it, and the different Hertz are kind of like positive affirmations for different cells. So a lot of people really like the frequency or music for 32 Hertz, and that is kind of like the universal language, or the language of God, or the language of the planets, or the cosmic universe, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically, music is kind of the language to your cells. So basically, if you ingest that information, your cells and your organs and everything in your internal world are ingesting this information. So I personally believe whatever you are ingesting, such as food, is what you feel about yourself. And food doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad or good person. It just tells me how you feel about yourself. So if you eat a lot of processed foods, or foods that don't have a lot of information or nutrition, then it tells me that you're not in a very good state in your life right now, and that's why it's super important when it comes to your health and your mental health. What you eat has an extreme vital role. So the other thing that I personally do, and for the traditional people, this probably sounds a little bit weird, but this is just a different viewpoint for people that are looking for different ways to interact with their body, is I personally tell parts of my body that they are wonderful, and that they are beautiful, and that they are important, because your cells and your mind and your body are living beings, and it loves you and it wants to protect you. And so I like to give them validation. I also like to listen to my body after I eat something. So there have been foods that I choose not to eat anymore because of the way that it makes me feel afterwards. If a food doesn't make me feel vibrant and energized after I eat it, it's probably a sign that I probably shouldn't eat it as much or at all. So I personally believe that after you eat a meal, you should feel emotionally stable, you should feel energized and ready to go. It doesn't mean that you should feel the same way after you have an energy drink that you or the food that you eat. Like, you're not going to feel happy and motivated all the time, but the food that you eat typically shouldn't make you feel sluggish after you eat it. So since information is very important for your cells, whatever your mind and your body pick up, or whatever you tell your mind and your body, it's going to believe. It's kind of like an animal, like Buddy here. He really wants to please me and love me, and the same thing goes to your mind and your body. It really wants to love you, and it tries to adapt to what you tell it. So if you tell it not nice things or negative things, it's going to pick that up, and it's going to say, okay, this being doesn't like me, so I'm going to develop a disorder, or I'm going to develop a physical ailment because this person doesn't like me, so why should I like myself? Is basically what your cells kind of pick up. It also picks up, your cells kind of pick up your environment. So if you're not in a very good environment, your cells are kind of going to be a little bit more chaotic, and they're not going to work as well in your body. Another thing that I actually do, that I don't know if other people do, my wife and I actually do it. We actually tell our food before we eat it that we give it positive affirmations. And I'm a really big believer in positive self-love and ingesting positive self-love. So before we eat our food, it's kind of like blessing the food, but we tell it like, thank you, like blessing it like, thank you for being here before we ingest it. And there actually has been studies shown that people that talk to their food nicely or talk to their food before they eat it or give it positive affirmations actually last longer. They don't rot as much versus people that don't talk nicely to the food. They rot actually really quicker. If you don't believe me, look it up on YouTube or Google. And the last thing that I do actually is I sometimes, the water bottles that I use, sometimes I put positive affirmations or positivity on my water bottle because there actually has been studies shown that water actually is able to pick up information. I usually put like rainbows or my favorite things or pinks or stuff that I really enjoy that is really positive. So thank you so much for being here, guys, and thank you for enjoying the fly that has just crossed my screen. The fly is really an important being as well, so I don't kill them. Thank you so much for being here, guys, and I will see you on my next video, and have a beautiful day. Bye.